You're listening to Leadership's Insights, Navigating Career and Life. I am Maggie Rombach, your host, bringing inspiring stories and practical advice on leadership, career development, and work-life balance.
I'm super excited to have you here, Donna. And I really, without further ado, I just throw the ball right into your camp. And it'd be great if you could start this off by just briefly describing your leadership journey. What brought you here?
Wow, Maggie, thank you so much for inviting me. I love doing this with you. My leadership journey, that is a great question. I think I learnt my first leadership skills actually on the beaches in Australia because I was a surf lifesaver. So even from a young age, you have to lead a team, you have to teach first aid, you have to sort of organize things with a small group of people. Admittedly, we were all teenagers. And then I think that very much continued through sports leadership, through humanitarian leadership, through feminine women's leadership. And I would say today it's more focused around thought leadership around well-being for women, if that makes sense.
I love this. And you know what I love about this is that I really want to drive this idea that leadership is not about big title. Leadership can be in so many places, in so many ways, on so many levels. So I love the lifeguard leadership. That really resonates. Excellent.
Totally agree with you.
So how this will work? So this is only the second podcast, so we're still in a learning process. But the idea how I'd like to run this is I have 6 questions where you can elaborate. I'd still, would like you to be kind of to the point. But 6 open questions. And then there's a second round of questions that I call the quick burst questions, where I'll throw a bit like military style a question at you, and I'd like you to answer with one word.
Okay.
So
let's do it. Let's
start with the first set of questions. So to kick it off, I'd love you to talk a little bit about the top 3 guiding values in both your private and professional life that you would really focus on. You have 3 guiding values.
I can do that because I have 5, but I'll narrow it down to 3 for you. And the reason I have that is because I went through a branding exercise last summer. So I actually had to incorporate my values into my brand, if you like, and all the sort of design work that went with that. So probably the 3 that I will share with you, or if you like, the top 3. So the first one is integrity. And that's really about like honor and truth, but also doing what I say I'm going to do. And not letting people down, so turning up. The other one that's super important to me is inclusion. So creating products, a place, a spaces where people feel welcome, where they feel like they belong. And it's just also comes from a belief that exclusion is not a helpful way to live our lives, and that there's many different people that can add value in the world. So it's nice to be around different people as well. And I debated what the third one would be because I have 5, but I think I'm going to... No, I'm going to keep it succinct. Mother nature. So this is a totally driving value of mine, and that this helps me stay grounded. It helps me stay embodied. And I think that when I'm grounded and embodied, this is when I also do my best work. So I'm actually putting that in the top 3. There you go.
What are the other 2 out of curiosity?
The other 2 are authenticity. So always being 100% ourselves, and generosity. So making sure that I'm accessible, but I'm also kind of serving as well.
I love that. And I find it really interesting that you put nature out there, because I wouldn't have brought it up as my value, but now that you said it, it really resonates. So nature.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Cool.
So here comes the next one. Which accomplishment in your life are you proudest of, and why? Or maybe not proudest, but just one thing you're proud of. And that could be some project, some challenge you mastered, or just anything.
Yeah, this question is hard to answer, because I think the natural thing we do is to try to say something we did. But actually, I'm going to choose. I think the thing I'm most proud of is my relationships, like my relationships with my friends, my relationships with my family, and being a good human in those relationships, like being able to turn up. So it's not one. I mean, obviously that's a continuous life's work. So I'm not sure if that's quite what you're looking for as such. But that feels more meaningful than saying something I did. I mean, things we do come and go. On a very personal level, the first time I ever did Sierzinal, which is this crazy mountain race in Valais here in Switzerland, I have to say that was a pretty bloody proud moment because I honestly didn't think I could make 32 kilometers in the high mountains. It was a time in my life where I wasn't that fit. So that did feel like a very big turning point in terms of my own health and wellness. But that's yeah, that feels about it.
Is
I
that the
mean, you
one?
could rattle off lots of work things and all of this, but at the end of the day, do those really matter? I don't know. Maybe not.
Is that the race in Zermatt, the one you mentioned?
No, it's Sierzinal, so in Val d'Oliviera, which is so you go Sion and then Sierre, and then you literally go up the mountain from Sierre, and it's like 2,000-meter climb or something. It's huge. It's crazy.
Wow.
Kilian Jornet, the elite trail runner, is always the one winning it.
Excellent. No, that's quite an achievement. But I do like how you look at relationships because it's true. We often look at what we achieved and not so much at the how. So I think
Yeah.
it's really important to also look at that whole space. That's great. So here comes the next one. So when hiring or promoting individuals, what qualities matter most beyond technical skills?
Yeah, self-aware humans are always popular in my book. So somebody that's not like living in a zone outside of the rest of the world. I think probably though curiosity is like really my number one because curiosity also makes you aware, like and by curiosity I don't necessarily mean like just questioning all the time. That's something different. Like genuinely open and curious about like the experience of life, the experience of work. I mean, people that are curious are also often very accepting of other people as well. And then the other one that I like is humility. Nothing like a bit of humility to keep everybody going rather than the giant ego. And then my personal one that I think everybody should, this is more not really a quality, but everybody should be in therapy basically, or have done some therapy. I think this would make the workplace, all workplaces, a lot happier and a lot smoother in terms of the way they and teams work. But can't get everybody to, you can't really ask that in a job interview.
And also, I think there's really a lot about the stigma of that first has to, there's still a bit of a stigma around that, but I totally agree.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing?
And I like that. I think that's why we connect, Donna, because, curiosity and humility, I would completely sign up to that too. That's great.
Definitely. Definitely.
Excellent. You're doing great. So this is already question number 4, and this is your top tip for
Well, you are leading me through succinct answers, so I appreciate that.
Excellent. So, and there's something happening on my computer. It seems to be fine. So your top tip for maintaining work-life balance in today's fast-paced world around work-life balance.
I find this question really interesting because I think it's often interpreted, not necessarily by you, but I think it's often interpreted as I have my work and then I have to fit my life around my work to make sure I'm balanced. So it's often interpreted as a trade-off between work and life, and that those are two separate things. And I think my experience for myself, but also for other people that I've worked with and supported over the years, is that when people are very, very clear about the priorities in their life, and I would even go so far as to say, what are the personal success factors that you have for your life. And this is an exercise actually I've done with some women, which just works really well. When you have those and your work fits around that, then you have a balance of your life in full, because you're not trading off. You're saying, okay, my family is really important. So this means that I'm not going to take a job where I have to work, 80 hours a week. Or you're saying, I value my health. This is my number one priority in life. And so therefore, I'm not going to choose a job which has a toxic work environment. And I think for me, that is probably the best advice I could ever give anybody, is figure out what's important to your life and then choose your work, your paid. I'm not going to say work life. Choose the thing that you are paid for to support the life that you want to live, to support your dream life, if you like. And these are the happiest people, for sure. Sometimes they're also the richest people.
Yeah, you're right. And also there's also a lot of discussion about work-life integration. Personally, I don't like that too much either, but you're right. I mean, it's work and life come together, and we have to find the right formula to bring them together.
Yeah. And given, how long each, people spend, I'm not going to just say at the office, at any work, but, the kind of minimum 8 hours a day for a vast percentage of the population. Work is part of your life, or what you're paid for is part of your life. So, and a significant part. So, better not to sort of feel like you're having to like constantly trade off just to find a balance. That's also stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very true and very wise. So thank you.
Took me a while.
So here comes one more, and this is one valuable lesson from your private life. That could be anything from sports, you mentioned sports before, or whatever it might be, that has helped you at work. Which again is kind of contradictory to what we just discussed, but let's stick with it.
No, okay, I'm going to use a cliche, but I think it's very true. And that is that health is wealth. Like, honestly, if we don't have our health, what do we have? Everything about the rest of our lives around our work becomes difficult, becomes challenging, sometimes becomes painful. And so the script, if you like, is filling yourself up, like literally making an investment in your health and well-being is actually not selfish. It's actually an act of service. It's an act of service to the people you love. It's an act of service to the place you work. It's an act of service to your community to focus on your health. You're happier at work. You're more motivated. You've got more energy. But there's millions of people globally whose health is being sacrificed because of their work, or they have health problems and they don't have health insurance, so then they still have to go to work, it's a complex issue. So yeah, that's the thing that I've learned is it's really an act of service to everybody else when you make sure that you're like 1,000% healthy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, I know you agree already.
Great. So that was actually the 5 big questions.
Okay, cool.
So we take a breath, and then we go into the quick fire burst, where I'll throw one question at you. There's 1 or 2 questions where you can answer with more than 1 word.
Okay, but I should try 1 word. Okay.
Exactly. So let's get started. Number 1 is describe your leadership style in 1 word.
Inclusive.
Excellent. Name 1 significant role model.
Oh, I want to say like all the mamas out there, because like if you're a woman and you're working and you're being a mother, that's like goddess. I'm also going to say Oprah Winfrey, because Oprah Winfrey is a goddess, and she is not a mother, but she leaves she's leaving an incredible legacy. Oprah. Yeah.
I like it. Excellent. What's the key to successful teamwork?
Gratitude.
1 must-read book.
Can I say author?
Sure.
She has many books. But if you have to start with one, and this is not a professional book at all or anything, but Joanne Harris, she wrote this book, Chocolate. And there was a movie with Johnny Depp and I think Julia Binoche. But not all, she has two kinds of books. She has magical books and she has dark side books. But Chocolate was the first of a long series of books. And these books by Joanne Harris remind you that there's all kinds of magic in the world. They just take you to another place.
Beautiful. Yeah, I know the movie. I didn't know there was a book, so I checked
Yeah, there's a whole series related to that movie as well.
Great. So what type of dream job would you like to have, if not your current one? And this is not necessarily like a specific position, but kind of like kind of stuff. And I know you've went through quite some changes, so you may be already on it. But what would be the type of dream job you'd like to do?
I mean, I think it is what I have today as a entrepreneur, and I'm going to say entrepreneur rather than well-being entrepreneur, because I think the thing that I really like about this life is that you are in control of your time and you're in control of your freedom, therefore. So I cannot imagine myself going back to a kind of 9 to 5, which is normally an 8 to 6 scenario. So any kind of job where you have control of or any kind of work, shall I say, where you have a vast control over your time and how you use it to get paid.
Yeah. That sounds great. I sign up for that too.
Yeah, definitely.
So what would be your preferred superpower?
It's one I have or one I want?
What you'd like to have. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
That is a great question. I'm going to just say expanded health and well-being. Like maybe I'm stronger, maybe I'm fitter, like my superpower is my health, like I never get sick. Yeah, I can keep running forever. Like, yeah, anything that was kind of to amplify my physical and mental strength and power. I don't know what you would call that as a superpower.
Yeah,
but super health doesn't really sound so good, does it?
But I get the idea. That's a good one. And what are you most grateful for?
Maybe it sounds cheesy, but like literally to be alive in this moment. Like I think every morning we wake up is a gift, like. And I'm grateful for my dog, because I think that while my dog drives me to insanity some days, she also teaches me a lot of lessons and has taught me to slow down and be more present. And I mean, I spent decades doing yoga thinking I was flexible of mind and I was in the present moment. And it's only when I got a dog that I realized that I could actually develop that a lot more. So I feel like I've gained new skills having a dog.
Excellent. So we go for the dog.
Yeah.
Great. So that's it. That was the quick fire
Cool. A bit under pressure, but not too much.
Yeah, so a bit of, it's good to have some energy to put in, but,
How did we do for time? Oh, we were okay. We were quite efficient.
Yeah, and we're actually about to wrap up. But before we finish, I'd like you to share a parting thought. And that would be, what would be your career advice that you would give to your 18-year-old self, or just really anybody who's just starting out and figuring out where to head in their professional career?
Wow, that is such a great question. I think 2 things. Never take less than what you think you're worth. Like, that doesn't necessarily have to be financially, but, less respect, less communication. Just never take less than you think that you're worth. And, I had something else in mind. Always do what you love and have fun with, rather than like the level of the position. And maybe I'm going to even add a third piece. If you're in a toxic environment, walk away sooner than you think you should, because it will bring you down.
So true.
I think most people that you speak to who felt that they worked in a toxic environment either wish they left earlier or they didn't realize the level of impact that it was having on them until they actually left, which I always think is an interesting one. So, yeah. Although I think my parting words to my last job were always make people a little bit scared of you, which I also think is good advice, by the way.
Excellent. That's a lot of good advice. So this has been really fantastic, Donna. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's great questions. I mean, really, I had to think about them a lot. So I really appreciate getting my brain working.
Excellent. And I'm really looking forward to having more people come on and answer the same question in a very different way.
Yes.
So that's also the idea, to bring that diversity.
I'm also looking forward to hearing that. That will be so interesting to compare all the different wisdom that you receive.
Exactly. So thanks a lot for that. We are wrapping it up for today. Take care and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Leadership Insights, Navigating Career and Life. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our next episode. Until then, keep leading authentically with your heart and mind.